Alright, what's up guys? In today's video we're going to break down the patch and how it changed the AK74u and where this gun ranks in the SMG category. Is it top tier or is it not? We're going to break down the best class setup, like I said, compared to those other top SMGs. Then talk about what they actually changed about this weapon, because this weapon got a massive buff along with a lot of the other SMGs. In my opinion, is significantly better than it was pre-patch. So if you guys do enjoy the content, you guys are new to the channel, you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel down below. And also, if you guys want to leave a comment, this video was inspired because I think I got 3 different comments saying, hey, please cover the AK74u. Like I said, the first things first is the best overall class setup. There's 2 ways to build this gun, but the best class setup is always going to be Group Suppressor, Task Force, Field Agent, or Specialized Grip with the Raider stock. The #1 most popular class setup if you're looking for the close range. When they previously changed this weapon from an AR to an SMG, they improved the sprint of fire and they nerfed the bullet velocity. So with the sound suppressor, it improves your ADS while also improving your bullet velocity, which was buffed in the most recent patch. And the sprint of fire was also buffed. So the sound suppressor, in my opinion, is best stacked for this gun only, which is probably the only gun I've ever recommended it on. When you improve that sprint of fire, which is best for SMGs, it stacks with that Raider stock, so your sprint of fire is almost instant. The gun does have a lot of vertical recoil, but it purely kicks vertical. It doesn't have much horizontal recoil at all. So obviously the best attachment to improve the SMG to give it better mobility, which is going to improve your movement speed and your stray speed, which is going to help you more in the close range. So this is the best close range class setup. This is probably the best setup I recommend for the 74u, just because it makes the gun good where it's best, and all you're really getting is a worse range, which the gun already isn't best in range, so you can't really hurt it too much. So those are the best class setups. What I want to take a look at first is how this weapon was changed with the patch. Alright, so what you guys can see on the screen, we have the time to kill of this weapon. The 3 times to kills, we had 603, 776, then an atrocious 1040 at range. The biggest improvement they did was improve that long range TTK. They took the 3 damage profiles and only turned it down to 2. So previously above like 24 meters to be 1040 TTK. That is now 690. The 690, you guys can see down here, the potential you have to get 8 out of 9 chest shots. Otherwise, if you get 7 out of 9, your TTK is at 776, which in my opinion is still top tier because it's sub 800. So that is a huge buff. The TTK at long range is a massive buff. In the mid range, previously was 776, is now 690, which is a good buff because they improved the mid range, which kind of helps this gun because it doesn't have the best range. As far as close range, there was absolutely no change. They did nerf the overall headshots. Pre-patch, you do 56 to the head, so this gun was an absolute headshot machine. Post-patch in that close range, you only do 49. They didn't nerf the close range, but in the mid-range, previously you did 40. Now in the mid-range, you do 41. And then at the long range, you were doing 32. Now you're doing 41 at the long range. So technically, they buffed the mid and long range headshots. They improved the bolt velocity by about 5%, which takes from about 520, which is top tier, to 550, which is like now some of the best bullet velocity besides the P90. Then, as I said, with that headshot nerf, this is in the close range only. Pre-patch with 1, 2, 4, or 5 headshots, your TTK would drop. Now with the headshot nerf, in the close range, mind you, in the 603 TTK, requires 1 or 4 only. So the 2 headshots and the 5 headshots that used to improve it, that's now gone. So the headshot effectiveness has been nerfed. In my opinion, that's a huge nerf. What they did here with the close range damage, like you guys can see, 35, 35, 35, 56. With the headshot nerf, it does 49 now. What they did is nerf the damage from 35 to 31, but now gave it a 1.1 chest multiplier. So doing 34 damage to the chest, what makes this gun still top tier is if you do 7 limb or stomach shots and only 1 chest shot, you still maintain that same time to kill. So it still is never ever going to do like worse TTK wise, but as far as your overall damage, your damage per mag has been nerfed. So the shots to kill, there is no change. In the mid range, they did improve it from a 10 shot kill down to 9 to the chest or 10 to the stomach and limbs, which technically didn't change, but now it has a bigger potential in the mid range, and your headshots is a little bit better. So buffed mid range damage, because your potential to get 9 shots is now better than previously, which was 10. Obviously, your damage per mag is now higher, which is definitely a good improvement. Like I said, it did have a third damage profile, which was 3220, which was 13 shots to kill. Now you're doing 2826, which, like I said, you must get 8 out of 9 chest shots in order to maintain that time to kill, which, like I said, you get the potential of getting 690 anywhere on the map, which is incredible. A massive buff. And then, like I said, if you only get 10 chest shots, your potential is still 776, but the overall far range damage, massive buff. So this gun, in my opinion, has been improved as a long range SMG in that category with that LC10 and that Milano. Is definitely up there with those 3 weapons. So those are all the patch changes. What we're going to take a look at next is kind of where we're going to rank it. What I find easiest in ranking weapons is ranking them by range. If you run that sound suppressor with that task force barrel, your range is about 14 meters. So it's going to be right next to these 2 MP5s. So from 0 to 10, you're right there in the middle. Better than the Bullfrog, better than the Milano, better than the LC10. But worse than 4 of the other SMGs. Above 10 meters where the both MP5s drop off, you are now the 3rd fastest killing SMG. Like I said, with a 1 headshot kill improving potential, but the 2 MP5s both have that as well. So that's what kind of balances it out. As I said, with the sound suppressor, your range is about 14 meters. With the agency suppressor, your range is about 16 meters, so about 15 meters or so. It's probably where your range is going to drop off. The gun drops all the way into the very bottom, which is now pretty much the slowest killing gun besides the Cold War MP5, which is a huge negative. At 20 meters, you lose your Bullfrog and you lose your Mac 10, so it's going to jump up again, which now makes it in the top 4. And then above 25 meters, where the LC10 drops off, it's top 3. So it kind of competes in the time to kill category. But the one factor we include that recoil, in which it has the most vertical recoil, it's excellent in the long range. But due to the fact that it has a lot of vertical recoil, I personally, in the close range, as we're going to compare it, in the close range, I'm going to take both MP5s over. Both had the same one headshot time to kill and about the same range, which with a much better recoil. So if you're taking a look at the close range weapons, both MP5s are better. Take a look at the mid-range SMGs. You can compare it to the PPSH and the Mac 10. Both guns do kill faster than it, and both guns are, in my opinion, a little bit more accurate because this gun has a lot of vertical recoil. It does have a 1 headshot kill potential up to 15 meters, which is going to make it better than both these guns. But mobility-wise, these 2 guns are much better, much faster ADS, and they kill faster. And then you look above 15 meters as soon as it drops off. Once again, you have the Mac 10 and PPSH as better mid-range SMGs. And then obviously, once again, even above this 20 meter mark, PPSH is still hanging in there, better than the 74u. The Mac 10 is only 50 milliseconds slower, but is, in my opinion, more accurate and significantly better mobility. So in the mid-range, I still think it's, once again, 3rd. There's 2 SMGs that are going to beat it. Then in long range, you have the Milano and the LC10, which are its kind of competitors. Even the PPSH is still in there. Personally, everybody's always going to pick the Milano. It has better recoil, like a significant amount, and it just is way more accurate. So you're always going to use the Milano over it. The LC10 doesn't kill as fast, but I personally would still take the LC10 over the 74u at range because it's a lot more accurate, and I do like the iron sights of the LC10. So we take a look at the mid-range SMGs. Mac 10 PPSH is better. Modern 55, Colder 55 is better in the close range. Then at the long range, the LC10, the PPSH, and the Milano are still better. So it never, in my opinion, gets ranked in the top of the SMGs. It's just good across the board. And a gun that's good everywhere is not a gun that's good in one situation where people actually want to use it. And this is why it's like one of the top 30 most popular weapons and not in the top 15. Because it's just good across the board. It does everything. It does everything well. But it's not good in one specific category. So that, in my opinion, is why it doesn't rank that well as an SMG. They did buff the weapon. They made it excellent. I know I got a lot of comments talking about please start using make a video on the AK74u. I want to see how it ranks. And that's pretty much where it ranks. Like I said, both MP5s are better with the same 1 headshot kill potential, which is going to make them much better. They have better accuracy. Mac 10 PPSH are better, especially in that mid-range. And then the PPSH, Milan, and LC10 are better at long range. So it's just never going to be ranked as a top SMG. It does have a lot of vertical recoil. I do like the improvement, but that one nerf where they brought it from the AR SMG meta to purely being an SMG only, in my opinion, is what probably could have made the gun better now at this patch if they would have left the bullet velocity and those other things that made the gun excellent instead of trying to make an SMG only. But to basically summarize, it's definitely not a top SMG. Every single SMG on the screen I would use over it. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 8 SMGs here. So I personally rank it as the 8th best SMG. That's basically it. I don't think it's a top tier gun. This video was inspired by you guys leaving comments. So if you guys want me to cover a specific gun next, leave a comment down below and I will do my best to get it out as soon as you guys as possible, breaking down all the data for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you.